Again, I thought the last vagus nerve spasms attack I got like that, the last time, was my last. In April 2025, I got a Gamma Knife Radiosurgery on a pituitary gland, and after that, during my recovery, I got my worst vagus nerve spasms attack ever. Here is the video about my recovery from the Gamma Knife surgery. In January 2025, I got my checkup MRI done, and it was perfect. Tumor-free. Great! Finally tumor-free. So, but now all the problems I'm having now are not from the tumor anymore. Those vagus nerve spasms that I got were the ultimate reason why we got an MRI done in November 2020, and that's how we found out about my pituitary gland tumor. So what exactly are those attacks? Well, we just call them vagus nerve spasms attacks. And well, with basically everything, it's really hard to understand something if you don't have it yourself. And even if you have it yourself, you will never understand how it really is for another person. So I'm still gonna try to explain it. So usually it starts, at the beginning especially, it started only after I swallowed a capsule. Later on, then it also just started by itself. Why? I don't know why, but that's how it really started. So after swallowing like a supplement capsule, and I got the sensation that the capsule got stuck back in the throat. It didn't. It went down. It wasn't there anymore, but the sensation was there. And it started to like cramp up, like spasming back in the throat. And you can imagine maybe like cramps back in the throat. I was always able to breathe, but it's super scary. So of course also panic kicks in, and also the fear of, oh my gosh, I can't breathe, or I can't breathe anymore. At the very beginning, the first attacks I got, and later on I knew it, I can breathe, I know that, but the very first time it was horrible, but I could always breathe. So it's not like cramping up that you can't breathe. So it's more like, it's like a spasm. It also gets ice cold back in the throat, really ice cold. It's so annoying. And I have to, right away when it starts, all I can do is I have to tilt back my head right away, sit down, preferably like kind of leaning. Well, I can't be flat, no, but like if I can lean on something, head up, and as soon as possible, a hot water bottle here, and be as still as possible. I can't talk, I can't swallow, I shouldn't move. Every slightest movement makes it worse. Really, every single one. I need to stay calm, not to worry. Get rid of the panic as soon as possible. Because when it starts, panic comes with it, and I need to get rid of that as soon as possible. I just have to try to relax, stay calm, meditate, pray, just be. Time stands still, and I just be. Not thinking about anything, just be. So the spasms can be smaller or bigger, and they have like a sensation of moving down. So like it spasms and it's like going down. Then it spasms and it's going down. Maybe like if you ate something maybe too dry or too much and you can't swallow, or like you swallow it but it doesn't really want to go down, and then you have to drink something or you have to wait, and then you kind of like feel it, how it goes down. That's how it feels with those spasms kind of. So they start back in the throat and they like move down. But in my case, I can't drink, I can't swallow, I can't do anything to make it go away. Well, just to wait and be calm and wait. Just be and wait. Oh, and believe me, I tried it with drinking something. I thought that would make it better and stuff. No, I tried whatever. It makes it worse. Everything makes it worse. Also, I can't say a word. I can't talk. Everything makes it worse. So when I had those attacks the first times back in Reno, I was so scared that we drove to the emergency room at least twice, but we never went in. We just stayed in the parking lot. But I was so fucking scared that I suddenly would pass out, or I suddenly couldn't breathe anymore. So I wanted to be close by. And as I mentioned, the first attacks, the breathing was really much harder. It was hard, but I realized, no, I can breathe. I don't have any breathing problems. That's not the problem. Don't make that as a problem. Don't think you can't breathe and then you feel like you can't breathe. No, but I had to basically kind of learn that. So breathing, being able to breathe was never a problem actually. But maybe it was a bit harder to breathe. I'm trying to remember. It's always hard to remember back after it happened. But yeah, I mean, when you have something back in the throat, it's just breathing. No, actually no, I don't think so. I think breathing was never the problem. It's just so fucking scary. And of course, when something is in the throat, you feel like you can't breathe anymore. But as mentioned, we never went into the emergency room. I always managed to calm myself down and then we could go back home. But we were at least twice in the parking lot. I remember maybe even 3 times, just in case, just to be safe. So anyways, this last attack I had on March 8th, 2025, the anxiety actually didn't last very long. It was short and I'm so super proud of that. I managed to get the anxiety out of the way really fast. But other than that, this attack was the last one I had, was the worst ever. It was the longest and the worst. Even worse than the one I got after Gamma Knife Radiosurgery during my recovery, and I thought that one was the worst. So my last one, March 8th, was even worse than that one. Yes, why? I'm tumor free now. Why do I keep getting those attacks? And why do they get worse and longer, stronger, longer? Why? I really don't understand why. Here is my video about CFS. So when I wanted to actually film a video for that video about the CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, so I set up my phone. That's when my vagusnerv spasms attack started. So I started filming at 12:35. So let's see what I actually filmed.
Small, a little smaller than that.
Okay. Hey, Paul.
Do you need to take your other DHEA now? Yeah, you do. Want me to show you where the toilet is? Why are you filming this?
I didn't want to film it. I wanted to set it up for some. Just shut it. I didn't want to film this. I didn't. As you can see, this time when it started happening, I was outside in a rocking chair and I could look at nature in paradise. I was in paradise and I could look at nature. Beautiful. That was nice. As mentioned, this time the attack was so much worse, and as mentioned, it's so hard to remember back how it was, but I think I remember I didn't pass out, but I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna pass out soon. So I really had that feeling of I'm gonna pass out soon, but I didn't. In my video about CFS, I mentioned that during CFS, it's like the world slows down. My world slows down. Everything becomes slow, so much slower. In the case of a vagusnerv spasms attack, time stands still. So it doesn't become slower, it stands still. Yeah, at the same time, I was dealing with CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, but compared to the vagusnerv spasms, the CFS was nothing. Who cares about that? That's easy peasy stuff compared to that vagusnerv spasms attack, or however you want to call it. I don't have a better name for it, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, this time it took so very long to boil the water. Of course, Paul had to do that. I was super happy right at the beginning when it started. I was still able to text Paul hot water bottle. I mean, he was right there, but I showed him the phone. Yeah, that's how we communicate during such an attack. Well, he can talk, but I have to text. And well, actually, I was so happy that I could text him that right at the beginning when it started, because once the attack gets really, really bad, I can't even do that because I can't move. So at least I could do that. So he took care of the hot water bottle because it gets so, not just because it gets ice cold back there, also those spasms, I need that. And I remember the very first time I had that, I just needed a hot water bottle. I don't know why, I had that feeling I needed, and as soon as possible, I need to get that hot water bottle up here, and it helps. Yeah, because I couldn't text anymore after I texted him about the hot water bottle. I couldn't text him that I needed something, a jar or something to spit out my spit. So I just I couldn't even spit it out. I couldn't spit, but I just basically pushed it out my mouth with my tongue, because I also couldn't swallow. Well, it's not that I couldn't swallow, I could swallow, but it made it so much worse. So I just like kind of, I think with my tongue, I just pushed my spit out, so it's just started to drool. I started drooling basically. It just started to move down my face, and Paul made the mistake. He took a napkin or something and wiped it off, and of course that made my attack so much worse, because every single tiniest movement makes it worse. And who the fuck cares about spit or something? But yeah, he didn't, of course he didn't do that on purpose. He didn't know that. I couldn't tell him. Well, actually, after this really bad attack, I told him what exactly I need, and it wasn't the first time that attack happened, but it's also stressful for him when it happens, and I hope now he remembers what to do, what not to do. So I told him, like, I need, as soon as possible, I just need to sit down, lean back, push my head up, hot water bottle. Like, his job is, as soon as possible, hot water bottle here, bring me something to spit in, bring me my phone if my phone is not close by me. As I said, when it's the worst, I can't even move, but then later on, so it's close, and maybe be around. I think I also told him that, so I know he's there, but don't touch me, don't, who the fuck cares if I have spit all over my face or whatever. No, really, in such a situation, who the fuck cares, you know what I mean? Oh, and also by asking me questions, he made it worse too. Of course, again, not on purpose. I mean, yeah, he wanted to know what I need or what's going on or whatever, but it makes it worse when someone asks me questions, because I can't move, I can't talk, it stresses me out. So yeah, I also told him, yeah, of course it's so hard, sometimes I think it's harder for him than for me, to just be calm and don't ask me questions, don't touch me, don't really do anything except for the things I told him to do. So, but hopefully it will never happen again. Yeah, so when such an attack starts, then it starts and then increases, and it gets really bad. And during the worst part, as mentioned, I can't do anything, I can't move, and also I don't know how long it will take. I can't think about that. That will make it so much worse. That would stress me out. There's nothing I can do to speed up the process. I can just try to space out. Yeah, and as mentioned, it's really hard to remember what went through my head during that time when I'm in that state. No, I'm not leaving my body or something like that, not at all. I'm always present, I'm always conscious, but I kind of try to get into a different dimension. I try to space out just to be able to endure it. My entire body usually hurts so much once the spasms starting to loosen up, get less, because then I actually feel my muscles again, and I try to move, and from trying to be so still, and also from always pushing my head back or leaning back or whatever, and everything is so tense and it hurts so much. And usually I also get burnt here from the hot water bottle, but it always gets like super red and stuff, but I don't even feel that. Once the worst is over, I can start moving a little bit again, and I can start texting Paul again. Like, I can move my hand, get my phone and stuff, and then when it gets even better, I can maybe even stand up or like move around a bit, but I always have to keep my head up and keep the hot water bottle here. I can't talk anymore for the rest of the day. I don't even try, because I know that I tried that many times. So when an attack like that happens, and well, it's so bad, for the rest of the day I don't even try to talk, because I know it makes it worse. After a while, then I can finally start swallowing my own spit. It hurts a lot, and it makes it kind of worse again, but not like crazy worse, you know what I mean, just like a little bit. And after a while, then I can start drinking again, just really small sips, and also that makes it a bit worse again, but not that bad. Like, I get over it, it's okay. Yeah, so at night I was so fucking hungry, and Paul made me some food. He made me some broth, and he put in very finely ground beef cooked in it, and I was actually able to eat it. That was great, but again, it did make it worse, but I could endure it. And yeah, of course, I was only able to eat a little bit. So how long do those attacks last? It's really hard for me to tell because, as I said, for me, like, time stands still. So it's really hard with that last one. I'm pretty sure it lasts longer than ever of the others. And so I saw with the phone, because this time I actually recorded it when it started, and then I saw it after an hour. I was able to take a picture of myself, yeah, so I could just like move a little bit, but it was still pretty bad. And after about 2 hours, Paul, with the help from Paul, I was able to get back to my room and lay down, well, kind of really upright, right, of course, like sit down more in my bed, but Paul had to help me, so it took 2 hours to be able to do that. So, and then it was still there, it was all still there, it was still spasming, it was still bad, but then I was at least able to do that, but the attack wasn't over yet. So unfortunately at night I was still not able to lay down, so I had to sleep very upright, and I was so fucking tired. Of course, this is so draining. Any kind of attacks are usually so draining for me, my body, my brain, everything. And it was a Saturday night, so unfortunately there was like music stuff going on outside, and I was so tired, I just wanted to sleep. Usually the following day I feel the aftermath of the attack. So I feel my throat and my body, my entire body, because it tensed up so much, but slowly I can start talking again, but not this time, not after that attack. I still wasn't able to talk. What the fuck? The spasms were still too severe that I couldn't talk without making it so much worse. So yeah, I tried, and it was like, no, I can't. It's still spasms. So usually how I remember the following day, I didn't really feel the spasms anymore. Just like, yeah, that there was something with my throat. It was like, it's so hard to explain. It's like, yeah, the entire body hurts. Also maybe back in the throat hurts. So it's just like that. But the spasms are usually, I think, gone on the day after, or maybe just very, very tiny, I don't know. But that time, the second day, the day after, the spasms were still there. It was still spasming after I slept. So I was so fucking hungry. I made myself French style scrambled eggs. Here I actually have a recipe from my other channel, Creative Carnivore Kitchen, many different ways how to make scrambled eggs, and the French style scrambled eggs are also in there. So this is great. This is perfect for something like that, or when you're sick or you have something with the throat. So and I was actually also even able to eat a skinless chicken thigh, but with a lot of liquid, and I had to chew and chew and chew and chew even more. Like I had to make it a real mush, like mushy, like really, and then I could swallow it. And it made it worse again, of course, but I could handle it. I was so hungry, and I didn't just want eggs. So, but I had to be really careful, really slowly, just a little bit, and just chewing, even adding more liquid to it, chewing, and then swallowing it. I was so happy when the cats we were taking care of came to me on the bed. I was so lonely. Yeah, when you're sick, you're so lonely. And I get it. I couldn't do what Paul is doing. I couldn't take care of someone that is so sick. I'm way too impatient. I couldn't do that. Anyways, even on day 3, I still felt it. I still felt the spasms, but at least I could start talking again. But then at night, I had a minor attack again. Well, I don't know how to explain this. If you think about, the first attack was on day 3, basically still going on, but it kind of at night, there was a new attack again. So it started, but not as severe, but like a little one, a minor attack. So no talking again for the rest of the night, so I had to stop talking right away again. And I don't understand, I've never ever had it that severe and that long. As I mentioned, I thought the one during my recovery after Gamma Knife Radiosurgery was the worst, and that was until now the worst one I had, and it was a really bad one, but it was one day. It wasn't, yeah, on the second day I felt the aftermath and recovered, but I could talk again. It was basically over. It was okay. It was just like recovering. And that one on day 3, it was still going on, and I kind of had like a relapse, a re-attack, or however you want to call it. I don't get it. So we were staying in Mae Rim, Thailand, in paradise, and we were requesting an appointment with a neurologist in Chiang Mai in Thailand. Yes, it was time to figure out what the fuck is wrong with me, what the fuck is going on. And that's the reason why we can never save up money, because of my sickness. So I tried to find anything on the internet about a person that experiences the same I do, or like similar, that has these attacks as well. What they do, what helped them, a blog, a text, a video, a channel. I was looking on the internet and I couldn't find anything. Nothing. So if you know about someone that experienced something like that, what I now just try to explain what it is, like we think it's the vagus nerve that gives me those spasms, that it has to do with the vagus nerve. So if you know something, please put it down in the comment. That would be really great. Stay happy, stay healthy, and enjoy this beautiful life.